You're listening to the PRO Media Network. The next level in entertainment.
Here he goes, AD, throwing it down! How about a poster? Antony Davis is on fire!
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now listening to the Pelican postgame report on the PRO Media Network. I'm Big Q chiming on with you, and this is podcast 235 on the Pelican postgame report. That's right, episode 235, as we start in on the new season as the Pelicans get ready. That's right, get ready to open up an entire new season. Can you believe it? After a crazy off season and everything like that there, the Pelicans are officially getting back to business coming up in less than a week here as they open up their preseason. And with that, as always, we'd like to thank you for chiming in with the Pelican postgame report. New and established listeners of the show, thank y'all for listening. Thank you for your support. Thank you for all that you do, including your contributions and all the wonderful things that you guys do dealing with the PRO Media Network. Today, we're going to be hitting you with a lot of good Pelican news and notes for today. As you can hear, we're out getting some news as we're covering the Pelicans, breaking it down. So if you hear the sounds of nature's birds chirping, just know that we're out and about in our nature studio. Let's just say it like that. But anyway, let's get right into some of the meat and potatoes of the matter. Pelican news, we're going to cover Antony Davis news. Of course, AD's signing a new deal with a new agent. Of course, Antony Davis did sign a new agent, got rid of his old agent, and picked up Clutch Sports, which is affiliated with LeBron James. LeBron's best friend owns it. It's a powerhouse, has a lot of great names, including LeBron is on there. They're tying it to the fact that LeBron is send out a social media response saying, "Welcome to the fam." A lot of people thought that mean that AD could possibly end up in the Los Angeles Lakers uniform, perhaps. A lot of buzz around that, of course. Coupled that with the fact that AD did buy a house out in the Los Angeles area about 4 months ago. A lot of buzz around that, but we'll cover that today on the show. And, of course, the Pelicans were able to pick up a lot of different signings for this team. Of course, we know about the drama surrounding DeMarcus Cousins turning down the $40 million to go play for a little bit over $5 million with the Golden State Warriors. We know about Julius Randle giving the Pelicans 5 minutes to match the offer that the Lakers issued for him, in which, let's get this straight, and I'm going to say this for the final time, they did a terrific job in offering those guys more than what they were. DeMarcus Cousins, nobody knows if he can ever totally rebound from the injury that he suffered. They gave him more than fair offer for that deal. Same thing with Julius Randle, totally ridiculous. In spite of all that, the Pelicans did a terrific job in bringing in other people that complement the style of offense that Alvin Gentry is trying to do. And of course, Gentry said, we want to run faster. We want to be faster. If you could picture the Pelicans being faster than what they were this past season, oh my goodness, there would be something awesome. But you know, they got to have the defense with it, as Antony Davis is going to sink into playing that 5 position. A lot of y'all that listen to the show know I'm not keen on that. I'm not keen on him playing the 5, but it just seems like to me that Alvin Gentry and the staff have talked him into it, and look like, according to some of the information we got, and of course our insider Scott Kutchner did mention that AD is comfortable playing the 5 at times. So there you go. Also, Julius Randle comes in here, and Elfrid Payton. Elfrid Payton, a hometown guy, he's back. He signed a 1-year deal. Just come here and play for the Pelicans. We're going to cover all of that. We're going to cover the signings of Jarrett Jack and a few other Pelicans. We're going to let you know about all that in the show today. Also, we'll have interviews in the second segment of the show from Alvin Gentry, Jrue Holiday. Antony Davis will chime in and tell you about his thoughts as he tried to deflect the press from his signing with Clutch Sports. Of course, we did a preview in the offseason, which we're going to link into the show when we discuss it, so you can listen to it as well. But we'll get more into that as we start off. So let's get right into the show today, podcast 235. And like we said, we're talking about Antony Davis. Of course, Antony Davis, his new situation where AD is picked up and he signed right before the season started. He signed with Clutch Sports, and he attempted to deflect a lot of the things that was going on about him changing agents so close to the season. So AD knows without a shadow of a doubt that the Pelicans are a team that's serious about keeping him around. Of course, he's eligible for the max coming up next summer, and the Pelicans are going to do everything they can to make sure AD's happy. To be honest with you, the last couple of years, last year, they were finally healthy enough to be able to make a run. Hopefully, they can kind of compliment him. This is a pretty solid team around Antony Davis, to be quite honest with you. So it's going to be interesting. AD with 3 seasons left on his contract, and he has 5 All-Star appearances to his name. He's got control of the situation, and he negotiated a contract and joined Clutch Sports, which represents LeBron, as we said earlier. When this happened, a lot of people thought that this would lead to a scenario dealing like with Chris Paul. When Chris Paul kind of wanted his way out, he was like, listen, we're not going to win here. Trade me somewhere where I can play. Well, they ultimately almost sent him to Los Angeles, but the league, remember the league at the time owned the team, and they didn't want a older roster to try to sell to a new owner. Ultimately, the new owner became Tom Benson, but they wanted to give a team, an owner who would have a lot of young pieces in place, not a bunch of old saturated contracts. So ultimately, that sent him to the Clippers as opposed to the Lakers, and the rest is proverbial history. Antony Davis was quoted saying, I'm here and I want to focus on winning this year with the squad that we have. We have a good squad. Now, of course, AD knows more than most that he's putting a lot of time since he's been here 2012. He's been tremendous. He's been excellent. He's been the model of what a superstar is supposed to be. Some say Antony Davis is second best player in the league behind LeBron James. I would agree with that. With that logic, complimenting him with Jrue Holiday finally rose to the levels that everybody knew he was once he finally got over the injuries. They added a piece of Nikolai Mirotic, who would shoot your eyes out, and he's a hustle guy as well. So the Pelicans do have a nice roster to complement him. Elfrid Payton, not the best shooter in the world, but get this, if you check the statistics, he shoots the 3-ball as the same percentage of Rajon Rondo, taller than Rondo, 3 inches taller than Rondo, at 6'4". He's super aggressive in attacking the hoop. He's a damn good defending point guard as well, and he done had some bad reps playing for garbage teams like Orlando and Phoenix, who just trash teams, could never get it together. But having him would complement him with a player like Antony Davis, Jrue Holiday, and in this fast-paced system, Elfrid Payton is going to thrive. He's going to thrive and have the best season. That's some of the pieces, of course. And then there's Julius Randle, who is a buddy, another Wildcat player added to the mix that will help the Pelicans excel even further. And the fact that Julius Randle can run the court, he plays defense really well. He's pretty decent on the offensive rebound. And, of course, Alvin Gentry even told him that he could start shooting threes, and he's practicing on shooting threes. So Julius Randle's trying to add a three-point game to his game as well for the Pelicans, as they see him mostly at the 4 spot more than anything. But he adds strength, something that they didn't have. And I'm not saying, outside of DeMarcus Cousins, outside of Antony Davis last year, he's a guy that you won't bully in the post. Like, remember we had those games when Zach Randolph was playing against the Pelicans and he just had his way? That won't happen if you got a girthy guy like Julius Randle down there. He has strength to the core and toughness. So I just love the fact that the Pelicans have him there as well. So this is going to be interesting for the team moving forward. Now, looking at some of the stuff dealing with the Pelicans as well, Pelicans had an opportunity to complement Antony Davis by adding a few more pieces to the team. They were able to bring in Jarrett Jack. That's a recent signing. They just signed Jarrett Jack for a 1-year deal worth $2.4 million. Now, they've been looking to add a veteran point guard behind Elfrid Payton. They tried to sign Wallace out from the Clippers. The Clippers matched the deal. They were looking at Ty Lawson. They were looking at some other guys. But they did sign Jarrett Jack, who was with the Knicks last year, was pretty productive for the Knicks, by the way. He's going to come in and bring some veteran experience behind Elfrid Payton. Not a bad move to bring in Jarrett Jack here. Jarrett Jack's offensive-minded guy. He can score. He can help you. They also brought in Darius Morris early on, who's another point guard from Brooklyn, second-round draft pick, young point guard, about 6'3". Very interesting with him, too. A guy that can kind of penetrate, get to the hoop. They signed Darius Morris to a 2-year deal, about $3.47 million. Other players to make mention of that they signed, re-signing Ian Clark was big, to keep that veteran edge on the bench. And I just love that signing, getting him back. Then they, of course, signed Troy Williams. Now, Troy Williams is going to go down as probably one of the most insignificant, I want to say insignificant, but one of the least talked about signings for the Pelicans. But Troy Williams was a very good player for the Knicks last year, coming off the bench. When he left, a lot of the fans of New York was upset about Troy Williams leaving because he really didn't leave for much. The Pelicans signed him for a 1-year prove-it deal for $1.5 million to be a Pelican. Now, Dell Demps did promise these 3-and-D guys at the small forward position that they'll have an opportunity to start. Now, my basketball brain was saying that Nikola Mirotic probably would be a good fit at the small forward position because of his size, the ability to shoot the three-pointer, his hustle. But he can't guard all of the fast small forwards in the league, so that kind of opens up a spot for some of these other guys. And who are these other guys? Troy Williams, who comes over from the Knicks. Kenrick Williams, who signed a 2-year deal to come in to play the small forward position. Garland Green, the brother of Gerald Green, signed a 2-year deal worth $2.25 million to try to earn that small forward position along with Darius Miller and the rest of those small forwards at the wing as they continue to look for that 3-and-D player. Then a very excellent signing in my mindset was that the Pelicans was chasing this man for 2 years. Finally, they get him. Jahlil Okafor comes in, signed basically a 2-year deal. The second year is a team option, but they're getting him for $1.56 million. So less than $2 million, you get a top 5 talent in Jahlil Okafor, who has some injuries, but the guy has great offensive game. He's in practice shooting threes. He's a 7-footer. Him and Antony Davis are hanging out on the street. This will bring something very unique to the Pelicans. I'm really proud of the fact that Dell Demps added some length to the bench, because if you listen to the previous shows, you know I was always talking about the fact that the Pelicans are too small off the bench behind Antony Davis. They get a reliable 7-footer, and they really add some talent when it comes down to that. So I'm really proud of that move. Now, you add all that by the fact that the Pelicans added those terrific pieces, right? But they did release a few guys. So Emeka Okafor was released by the team back on September the 19th. He did sign with the Philadelphia 76ers, a camp deal with them. So the Sixers get rid of one Okafor and get another one. Also, the team did waive DeAndre Liggins back on the 31st of August. So Liggins, we knew that eventually was going to happen, that he was not going to make the team. He kind of looked terrible in the playoffs last year. They lost a lot of confidence in him in the second half of the season, and we know it was only a matter of time before DeAndre Liggins probably was on his way out, and that those thoughts were confirmed later on. Now, the Pelicans add all of that terrific talent, right? All those new acquisitions, Jrue Holiday, all those guys, along with the talent that they have. Now, we talked about Davis, we talked about Mirotic, we talked about Holiday, and Elfrid Payton and all these other guys. But some of the established guys that were here on the team last year that's on the bench, you got a guy like E'Twaun Moore, who will move from the starting lineup to the bench where he belongs to come off, and he'll be more comfortable in that role as the shooter. You got a guy that shoots almost 40% a season coming off the bench. Him and Ian Clark, terrific plays right here. Then you add Jerry Jack to that mix. You still got Frank Jackson, who, according to reports, is healthy and ready for the preseason. So big ups to the Pelicans as they kind of stockpile that guard talent just in case Frank Jackson is not ready to go. They still have Solomon Hill, who they looking to kind of move Solomon Hill because of his contract. That's something that they're looking at doing as well. The team still has Sheik Diallo, who's the high-energy player. Alexis Jenkins finally healthy after missing the entire season last year with injuries. He's finally good to go. So overall, you look at what the Pelicans have, you can say to yourself, you know what, the Pelicans this year, I like what they have this year. And to me, it just seems like the team is stocked with a lot of talent. They're loaded up at the guard positions. They're loaded up at the wing positions. They have the size that I was complaining about, that in Okafor, who will probably get 12 to 15 minutes a game. They need to go to a big lineup. They can move Okafor into the starting lineup if they need be. He can play some minutes at center and allow AD to move back to 4. It's a lot of different things the Pelicans could do, a lot of different lineup moves and a lot of different things that Alvin Gentry could do with this team. So really happy and excited about what General Manager Dell Demps was able to accomplish with this team. And of course, with all this being said, the team will open up and get ready for its preseason that'll due to start coming up really soon. Now, we know the team has pretty simple preseason. Starting September the 30th, which is coming up this Sunday, the team will play the Chicago Bulls in Chicago, or United Center. They also have some matchups against the Atlanta Hawks. That'll be in Atlanta. On October the 5th, matchup against the New York Knickerbockers. On the 10th of October, the team plays the Miami Heat. So they have 4 away games and 1 home game. They'll play October the 11th, which is a Thursday, at home in the Smoothie King Center against the Toronto Raptors. And we might see Kawhi Leonard in that game. We might. Pelicans open their season coming up September the 3rd, which is this upcoming Sunday. Gonna be interesting to see what the Pelicans will be able to do coming in. And guess what, fans? Basketball season is back in the Big Easy, and the Pelicans are back. So That's a quick little preview of some of the things. We about to go to break, but when we come back on the other side of the break, we're going to get into the rest of our topics. We're going to play some interviews from Antony Davis, Jrue Holiday, and some other guys as they give you their thoughts on the new upcoming season. A lot of excitement as the Pelicans prepare to move into the 2018-2019 season with high expectations to build on top of that 48-game season last year. And of course, that's getting to the second round, ultimately getting knocked out of the playoffs 4 games to 1-2. The eventual champion Golden State Warriors is a lot to be proud of. The Pelicans gave it all they go. But we'll cover some other Pelican topics on the other side of the break. You listen to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Stay with us.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
Sports fans are gearing up and saving big at Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear. From all the leagues, teams, and players you love, unique one-of-a-kind designs exclusively by Fanatics, and autographed collectibles from today's biggest stars shipped directly to your home. Join Fanatics Rewards for free to earn fan cash on every purchase. Shop now and for a limited time, get 20% off all orders. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
What's up, Sports World? The PRO Media Network is on a mission to reach 10,000 subscribers. So besides our regular programs like the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, the Pelican Post Game Report, Rapid Fire TSC, and others, we will be expanding out and offering other content like movie, anime, and gaming reviews for your entertainment. So if you enjoy our content, please donate at our Patreon page. Also subscribe, comment, and share. And help the PRO Media Network reach 10,000 subs. Peace.
Get all the latest news and updates from your New Orleans Pelicans at the Pelicans Eye View, the new and official Pelicans Daily Journal, covering everything Pelicans.
Attention, everyone.
Get breakdown on games, free agent signings and potential moves, unbiased opinions and straight up facts with statistical analysis from G Balance. Go to www.thesportsdaily.com/Pelicans-I-View.
What's up, Sports World? This Big Q from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Talking to you about the website, theposhlifestyle.com. That's right, theposhlifestyle.com. A great website where you can get great products at great prices. They sell organic herbs, vitamins, supplements, water filters for your home, EMF and cell phone radiation protection, healing magnetics and healing crystals, personal protection devices like cell phones, stun guns, and mace sprays, organic deodorants, shampoos, soaps, toothpaste, and more. They also sell 10A grade Brazilian hair. 10A music is available now. All kind of the latest downloadable mixtapes. So what are you waiting for? Head on over to theposhlifestyle.com. That's the Posh Lifestyle, life spelled with a Y, LYFE, style.com. Put in the Sports Coma for the 10% discount on your purchase. It's a win-win. So get your mind and body right with the Posh Lifestyle.
You're listening to the Pelicans post-game report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're listening to the Pelican post-game report on the PRO Media Network. Early on, we covered a lot of the newest acquisitions of the New Orleans Pelicans in the first segment. This time around, we got a lot of interviews to hit you with. We got people chiming in. We got Dell Demps, the general manager. We got Coach Alvin Gentry chiming in. We have established star Antony Davis chiming in, Jrue Holiday chiming in, bevy of Pelican support players, including guys, new acquisition players, Julius Randle, Elfrid Payton, and then we have some of our familiar faces like Frank Jackson, other players like Jahlil Okafor chiming in as well. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the meat and potatoes of the interviews. And we're going to start off with the general manager, of course. How could you go any place else? We're going to hit you with a little Dell Demps as his thoughts on the team coming in some of his aspirations for the New Orleans Pelicans. His general manager, Dell Demps.
Well, first I want to thank everybody for coming today. Sorry to ask you guys to come out here on Friday, but I got to leave town. I'm going to go on a scouting trip. And so I won't be here for the start of training camp. Camp starts obviously next week. We had a really good offseason with our guys as far as off-season workouts. We had a lot of participation in voluntary workouts. We'll come into camp with 19 players. Coaching staff's been doing a really good job getting prepared. I thought our players, on the most part, I take that back. Our players, they came in great shape. And so one of the good things going into training camp, we'll be healthy. We got a couple guys with some minor little things, but on the most part, we're healthy. And, we look forward to this training camp. We have some new pieces, with the signings of Julius Randle and Elfrid Payton. We'll use this training camp to try different lineup combinations and see how they work. We have 5 preseason games, but we'll get a good understanding of, what we can do, what we can't do. But we also feel like we'll have a lot of healthy competition during training camp with 19 guys. We have some roster spots that, guys can make our team. And it's going to be a fun camp. It's going to be a time where guys are going to come in. But we also understand that we got a lot of work to do. We understand that the West is tough. The whole NBA is tough. And we're basically going to be ready to embrace that challenge. And so after that, I'll open it up for questions.
What are your biggest
concerns? We want to build off of last year. I think just the team coming together. Consistency is going to be very important because every game is going to matter. I think we saw that last year. I think teams that are going to have to win the games are supposed to win, and winning close games is going to be very important.
You brought up the competition. How important was that for y'all to kind of have a bunch of different guys in certain positions just to see how it all shakes out once the season?
We feel really good with the rotation that we had last year and then the pieces that we added this summer, and we just decided as a group we wanted to go old school. We wanted to leave some roster spots open, have some guys come in on non-guaranteed contracts, and really, instead of just handing it to somebody, have people come in and earn it. We've been bringing Frank along slowly. He's looked good in his workouts. We'll have some minor restrictions on him in training camp just because we want to be safe. He hasn't played basketball competitively in over a year. We were hoping that he was able to get some more games in Summer League, but obviously that didn't happen when he injured his ankle. But right now, he's clear to go, and we'll see how it goes in camp.
And that's Dell Demps, man. As you can hear, Dell Demps is excited about the upcoming season. He got every reason to be. It finally worked out for the Pelicans, and they were able to get a healthy season out of Jrue Holiday. Antony Davis played on a level unknown to many basketball players, and he will continue to ascend as he comes in healthy. Demps deserves a lot of credit, especially him and his special assistant, as they both deserve a lot of credit as they have put their basketball minds together to build the best possible team they can. And bear in mind, this is very smart contracts that he was able to put together. A lot of these contracts, including 2 of the star acquisitions this year, which is Elfrid Payton, which is a 1-year deal. Then the Julius Randle contract, which is really, really cap friendly, $17 million for 2 years. And the second year is a player option, which means he can opt out. Then you have the Jahlil Okafor deal, which is less than $2 million with a 2-year deal. The second year is a team option. So they have a lot of really good, friendly deals. So by next year, they can offer AD the Supermax, which he'll no doubtedly sign, and they can probably couple him with another superstar talent player to come here and play for the Pelicans. So the outcome of the Pelicans are looking good, and one of the key things they have to consider is getting rid of Solomon Hill's really lofty contract, which they're probably going to end up doing between December and mid-February. So without further ado, let's move to the next interview and hit you with Coach Alvin Gentry as he speaks about the pace that they want to play in. How fast the Pelicans played last year was out of worldly. Now you mean to tell me you want to play faster than that? Could you capitulate that? Could you wrap your mind around the concept of the Pelicans playing faster than what they played last year? Think about that. Well, here's Coach Gentry to tell you himself.
I don't know. What do you want me to say? I mean, I'm excited about the season starting. I like the personnel that we put together, and I think that our goal is to play at even a faster pace than we did last year. And I think defensively, obviously, we added some guys that could help in that department right there. But, we have 2 of the best 5 defenders in the league. So I think, we're going to be solid in that area right there. But I think the guys are excited about getting started, and we're excited about getting started. And, obviously we'll try a bunch of things in the training camp and a bunch of things in the preseason to see if they can work for us, and then we'll go from there. I think consistent running, I think you got to be consistent in, asking the guys to run on every possession. And there's going to be times that the really good running teams are the teams that run when you think there's not anything there. And you create something by just the pace that you play at. And so that's what we'll try to do. I think we got some athletic big guys. I think that, we're excited about Julius because he can do some of the things as far as playmaking that DeMarcus could do. And I think he can push the basketball. I think that Elfrid, it's going to be the first time that he plays in a system, where he's going to be able to push the ball and continue to attack. Elfrid was number 2 to Westbrook as far as getting the ball to the basket last year. And I think anytime he's second to Westbrook in anything, you got to be pretty elite at it. So, like I said, we're excited. We got to see how it all comes together. Anything can look good on paper, but, obviously that's got to translate to what happens on the court, and we feel like it can transition into something that can be very useful and we can be very solid. Well, I think the one thing is that, like you said, it's a much shorter training camp than we're accustomed to. But, we do have the core of our team back, really, when you think about it, of, Nico, AD, Jrue, and then, Etwan and other solid guys that would play. And, we get Solomon back, and he's, accustomed to, kind of what we're doing also. So the new guys, especially a guy like Julius played in a system that's very similar to ours, playing for Luke Walton. And, obviously he bought some of the stuff that we did at Golden State when we were on staff there, and the same thing that I did when I came here. So Julius, I think, is going to be fine. I think that's the strength of Elfrid's game. He is a guy that's been really good in the open floor, and I think he's going to play that much more in the open floor, and he's going to play with an elite big guy, and he hadn't been able to play with a guy like AD that has that kind of athletic ability and to be able to get out and run. So I think all of those things are positive,
Do you expect to see a lot of lineups of AD, Julius, and Nico?
That's something that we're going to experiment with, and I think that's a really good question. Can we play those three guys together? I do like the fact that we're the big guys that we have are very much capable of switching out on perimeter players and doing a good job defensively there. So that's something that we would definitely experiment with. But we're going to look into can we play those three guys together, and if we do, how do we best maximize what they can do?
That was Coach Gentry, man. He sounds really excited, laid back. They ready to go. 48 wins last year, getting into the second round, sweeping the Trailblazers, getting to the second round, taking Golden State 5 games, ultimately losing in 5. Golden State goes on, win a championship. Very good year for the Pelicans. Let's go to Antony Davis as he talks about what his thoughts are on the upcoming season. Here's AD.
I'm very excited. Like our squad, adding Julius and Elfrid. It's definitely going to be fun. Got a good look at our team during, some of the off-season workouts we had, playing pickup and stuff like that. We were able to kind of get a good feel how we wanted to play, and then able to go out there and just play and just see what works and what doesn't work, working out through it. Me, Elfrid, and Jrue has been talking a lot about stuff that we like and what we don't like, where we like the ball and stuff like that. So it's going to be fun, an exciting year. When we got Julius and they told me Julius lost a lot of weight, I was like, I'm going to have to play the 5 this year. So so I kind of did it like that. But every year I just like to, as far as the weight room, just add different things. I did a lot of what they call in-range stuff. playing lower than I usually play to help me with balance and stuff like that. So just try to change my body to the perfect way I can to be successful and stay on the court, for 82 games and longer. So, no, you're good. Nah, it was just for where I am right now, my career and what I'm trying to do. I thought the change was necessary. That's all it was, just trying to be the most dominant player in the league. And, I think making that change and going with clutch definitely will help me do so. I don't even get on social media, I don't follow the stuff. People come up to you and say it, but like I said, I'm focused on winning this year and being the most dominant player in the league. No, I didn't know that. Who was the player? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know you changed agents, but for me, like I said, and I'm keep going back to it, but for me, like my whole thing and the decision was to be the most dominant player in the league. I'm here. I want to focus on winning this year with the squad that we have a good squad, and go out there and just play my hardest. We kind of threw a lineup out there with as far as me, Jrue, Julius, Elfrid, and I think Etwan. And anytime the other team missed, whether it's any one of us, we just got and pushed up the floor. So I kind of like to see that. We were playing fast. We were making each other better. We were talking through some of the stuff on offense, talking through some stuff on defense. So we kind of just, trying to figure each other out. We kind of still had that core group. A lot of guys from last year come back, but I think adding Julius and Elfrid is going to give us a different dynamic. And, playing scrimmage, scrimmaging a couple times throughout the week kind of helped us, try to figure out what identity we wanted to have this year.
That was Antony Davis chiming in, man, as he tells you his thoughts. Let's get into an interview and see what Jrue Holiday thinks, as he is the Robin to AD's Batman. His is Jrue Holiday.
Yeah, I feel prepared. Again, the summer was a little shorter, so I didn't have as much time to get out of shape. But it was just, I guess it was fun just progressing from last season, the end of last season, and preparing myself for this year for even more games. So hopefully. Personally, I'd like to shoot a better three-point percentage. Obviously, I'd like to be first team all defense again. I'd like to make that a thing. But you can improve in every area if it's rebounding or assist or points or whatever. But I think the biggest things for me is defensively, being consistent and showing people that I like to play defense and I'm pretty good at it. And again, just 3-point percentage, especially because the game is becoming more 3-point oriented now. Yeah, I think we're going to be a problem. Again, just playing against EP or Elfrid during the season, prior seasons, and then working out with him this summer. I told him, we're going to be fighting if we go up against each other in practice, just because he's physical. He always has a hand on the ball. If you think if I think that I beat him, he's not beat. For some reason, he always get a hand on the ball or he meets you at the rim. So that competitive nature, that dog, I like, and I feel like I bring the same thing. Same thing with Solomon, Antony, obviously first team all defense. So and I think our backcourt is going to be something to mess with. I don't know if you think we like some track stars or something, but I guess that's the plan. Especially here during training camp, to just getting used to sprinting the first 2-3 steps off a rebound, or having quick plays, getting points 20 seconds and under. So again, I feel like he, especially with his system that he's implemented with the guys that we've added, really just pushing the pace is going to be big for our team. And I think they're really good at managing minutes, managing times where if somebody gets tired from sprinting all the time, you can come and get a 2-minute break and then go back in and start sprinting again.
And I tell you, man, Jrue Holiday, He keeps it the same most interviews. Very professional, Jrue Holiday. Now let's get into some interviews with some of the newer Pelican players, Elfrid Payton, and then we're going to follow that up with an interview from Julius Randle as they give their thoughts on the upcoming season.
Very excited. We got a lot of talented players on this team. I feel like we're really deep, so I'm excited to get into camp tomorrow and be able to compete. I just kind of touch like just the talent. We got a lot of shooters. We got guys that's gonna bang. Jahlil looked really good. Julius looked really good. I can go on, forever. Franks look good. We just look really deep. Yeah, very important. I know people think lost it or something like that, but I'm excited to get out there and show. I still could defend at a high level, especially with people around me that take defense very seriously. That's gonna make it that much easier. I think we can be very good. Obviously, we still got to get out there and do what we got to do, but I think we had the potential to do really big things. Not that much different. I feel like everybody comes into training camp wanting to win for the most part, but I like the feeling of being able to come in and ride the momentum that they had ending last season on a high note, and wanting to pick up where they left off at. Guys don't want to go back to how it used to be, so I'm looking forward to that.
It's been good. I'm excited. Like I said, from the very beginning, I wanted this to be a long-term thing, so I'm excited. This is going to be a lot of fun, and I've noticed that from the very beginning with the coaching staff, with my teammates, just everything. It's a perfect situation for a basketball player. I do, in a sense, but I feel like this is just a positive situation. And the fact that you look at the overall picture, there's a lot to be obtained. In a sense, this team has a lot of potential. But there's a lot of young guys, like you said, that are veterans. In a sense, we've been through some wars, we've been through some battles. Obviously, these guys, coming to the situation, they've been through a lot of wars and battles, making it second round last year. So, we're young, but we have a little experience under our belt. Me and EP, we haven't been in a situation like this before, so it'll be a learning experience in that. But, we know how to play the game, so it'll be a good adjustment. It's been cool, man. It's the South. I'm from Dallas, so it's close to home. I've been telling a lot of people, New Orleans is the South, but it has its own little flair, its own little culture. So I've been learning that a little bit, but it's been a lot of fun, man. It's the Southern hospitality, how nice people are, laid back, fits my personality well. It's a little similar. It has a little bit of differences, but it's a little bit similar. The concept of running, playing fast, playing unselfish, playing with speed, defense. It's all the same. When it really breaks down to it, it's random basketball, just being unselfish. So it's all pretty much the same. At the end of the day, you're just playing basketball and you learning your teammates and all that type of stuff. But I guess, yeah, you can say that. Like I said, it's just basketball, though. At the end of the day, when I chose a team, I chose it based off of my ability to fit in and, seeing myself grow as a player. So I wouldn't say it's like a big adjustment or anything. Coach Gentry fits right into the style of how I like to play and how I'm comfortable with playing, so it's been cool. Yeah, all around, man. From you start with the coaching staff. They're super laid back. We give you a lot of freedom, structure within freedom. They want you to play at your best, play fast. Like I said, play defense, all that type of stuff. Shoot the ball, whatever it is. And you go to your teammates and feel like I have the perfect, teammates. Everybody. When I was talking to the coaches and stuff before, they're talking about how they were second in assists last year. So it just goes you to show the culture of the team of being unselfish. And like I said, you playing fast, but you're being unselfish, and I feel like that's the most fun way to play. So I feel like I fit in perfect with that.
That was Elfrid Payton and Julius Randle's interviews, one after the other. And, of course, the Pelicans made those two really excellent signings as they will fit the pace of what Alvin Gentry was speaking about a few interviews ago. Let's keep the train going. We're going to bring in Jahlil Okafor and let him tell you why he decided to come to the Pelicans.
Here's Jahlil Okafor.
Yeah, I was just really excited to go to a winning program or a winning organization. I watched, obviously, what they did last year in the playoffs with sweeping Portland. And then I remember just seeing them, all the guys fighting. And I didn't think I was going to be on the team at the time, but when I had the opportunity to be a part of the Pelicans, and I talked to Dell, talked to David Booth and a few other guys in the front office and let me know, that they would like me to be a part of the team. It's pretty much a no-brainer for me. So I'm excited to be here. There was a lot that went into it. I think it started off with my diet. We ended the season in April. We didn't make the playoffs. I was with Brooklyn. So right when the season ended, I went straight to Miami, worked with David Alexander. He's a pretty big-time trainer out in Miami. A lot of guys know about him. But the first thing we attacked was my diet. I didn't have any problem working out, but it was kind of counterproductive when I was work out and then go eat BS. So we just got my diet in line with the way I was working out, and it did. It benefited me. I played around with a few things. Actually, last year I was vegan. I did vegan for like 6 or 7 months, which I lost a lot of weight, but also a lot of muscle mass. And then my blood count was low, which was affecting my cardio. I tried doing the vegan, but that didn't work out. That didn't last long. But I think the summer, David pretty much simplified it to me was if it hasn't ran, swam, or walked, or grown from earth, don't eat it. So that eliminates bread, candy, Doritos, Oreos, all the stuff that I was eating, that eliminated that right away. So that was pretty much the simple diet that he gave me. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely has been my bread and butter, is being able to be effective in the low post. But like you said, I've worked on other aspects of my game this summer. That's just the way the game is growing. You need to be able to dribble, you need to be able to pass, you need to be able to shoot. I had to be able to do a little bit of everything. So I put a lot of emphasis in not only my body this summer, but expanding my game as well. Like 250 to 254. It's usually between there. I started the summertime. At the end of the season, I was 270. So I'm like 250, 254.
That was Jahlil Okafor chiming in, telling you, man, that he was excited. Now, see, that's why you win, and it's easier to recruit players. Everybody's watching you when you sweep Portland. That puts people on notice. Hey, man, I want to play for that team. But Jahlil Okafor, truth be told, didn't have a lot of option outside of the Pelicans. Either come here and rebuild his career, or he would have to take a deal to go play with guys like L. Jefferson in China somewhere. Now, we know Okafor is not the best defensive player in the world, but, man, they give him a lot of crap about his defensive game, but we know he's an offensive big. He can score, and that'll help in the Alvin Gentry style offense, and we can always kind of work on that defense. Now, before we get out of here with interviews, our last interview will be with a very, I call him the question mark of the team, and that's Frank Jackson. Frank Jackson is a guy, very explosive, well-mannered, very talented point guard, very explosive, probably the most explosive player that we have on this team. Now, Troy Williams can get up. Just lightning in the bottle. This guy's really good, and the injuries have just kind of really held him back. Hopefully he can beat these damn injuries and move forward. But if he can't, I think Dell Demps did a smart job in bracing against his injury situation by adding guys like Jared Jack. But let's hear what Frank Jackson has to say about all these wretched injuries and his outlook on the upcoming season. Here's Frank Jackson.
I feel better than ever. I feel really good. Had a good summer. Minus the ankle injury. Minus that, everything after that was great. I was like, come on. I thought it was worse than it actually was because I was taped and my ankle still went all the way down. But it was frustrating for sure. But then kind of just like, all right, now we got to focus in, lock in, and get ready for training camp. No, it's for real, though. It's been a long journey, and I don't even know where to begin, honestly. I think, I was able to learn so much last year, but at the same time, it was so frustrating and hard because I've never had to go through a year without playing something that I truly love and that I played every single day of my life. And to not be able to play it for a year was hard. So I'm definitely anxious and excited to get out there and to show people, what Frank Jackson can do. And guys last year on the team were great with me. I think they knew what I was going through and how hard it was for me, and to have good teammates, good staff members as well who, made sure I was okay throughout the year. I really got in the summer. I was with Jrue, with the Holiday family a ton, and with Mike G as well, and Jrue's someone I look up to tremendously, and I think he's an awesome guy, a good character guy who is family-oriented just like I am. So we have a lot of similar similar aspects in our life. And to be with him, I stayed at his house for about 3.5 weeks, and we just trained and hung out together with his family. And he really has given me a lot of confidence, and to know that, I just got to keep pushing and keep fighting, because, I can play basketball for sure.
I was Frank Jackson chiming in, letting you know, lighthearted as usual, but staying positive, man. Staying positive and being positive and just thinking positive is a key to a lot of this stuff. He can turn this stuff around and never suffer with an injury ever again. It can happen like that. You never know. But the first key to it is being positive and continuing just to work on becoming healthy, which he's ready to go. You heard him say it himself before we get out of here. The top 5, the Pelicans, obviously, according to what we have going into the season, with starting at the 1 position, Elfrid Payton was occupied the point guard position. Off guard would be, of course, Jrue Holiday. The small forward, we'll come back to that in just a position in just a moment, which is the 3. The 4 will obviously be Julius Randle, and the 5 will be Antony Davis, playing a lot of 5 this year. Now, going back to the question mark of the team, which is the 3 position, the wing position. Who plays the wing? That's a question we asked Scott Kushner, the insider for the Pelicans, who works for the New Orleans Advocate. We had him to chime in on the show. He came in and dropped some knowledge on us about that. And I told him about Nikolai Mirotic, in my opinion, being the best wing that they have, even though he might not be able to guard some of the top, maybe the top 8 to 10 wings in the league. But think about it. There are not really that many wings. Like, he wouldn't have to guard Kawhi Leonard every night. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't have to guard a guy. Now, you might have a LeBron James there, and you only really have maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10 really good 3-and-D guys that you have to watch out on the season. So why not march Nikolai Mirotic out there? And besides the fact, a lot of doubling is going to go to Antony Davis. A lot of doubling is going to go on Jrue Holiday. And many nights, Nikolai Mirotic will have a wide open jump shot, which he will knock it down. From what I'm seeing, the Pelicans like Nikolai Mirotic to come off the bench as a stretch 4 to alleviate Julius Randle. If that is indeed the case, and that's what it's looking like, then Nikolai Mirotic on some nights might be pulled out of thinking of the wing position. With that being said, who is the wing? Well, let's take a look at some of the wings we have. We just ran them down. And some of the wings, of course, the most established wing that they have on the team, we could say 3-and-D, who they gave the money to, was Solomon Hill. Does Solomon Hill start at the wing position? He's totally healthy. And remember, Solomon Hill is making $12 million a season. You get me? So that could be a surprise start. I'm pretty sure Dell Demps and ownership would not want Solomon Hill to just be sitting, a $12 million player, just posted up on the bench. The money says that he starts at the wing position. Now, that won't be ideal because he is not a great 3-point shooter, but he's a decent defender. He was prior to the injury. He's lost a lot of speed. It's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. Before the money, $12 million a year, I would have to say he would be the guy that they put in there just because of the money. He said, well, who's your favorite? I like Troy Williams. I think Troy Williams will do a good job at the small forward position. Troy Williams, athletic. He's very fast. A guy that'll cram it on your damn head. He shoots a decent. He's not a great 3-point shooter. He's a guy that can actually probably help you at that wing position. The Pelicans got him for basically a cheap rate here as he comes in. So, and then one of the lesser guys, like, the 2-way players, maybe Trayvon Blewett, not known for his defense, but will shoot your eyes out. So it'll be interesting to see which of these 3-and-D guys, Kenrich Williams, Garland Green, Troy Williams, even Darius Miller, you're throwing to the mix. And of course, you got to put Solomon Hill in there. You got to throw him in there because of the money. Anyway, that'll do it for the show. Thank you guys for listening to us, both new and established listeners, to the Pelican Post Game Report as we fire up a new season coming into this here thing. So as always, if you enjoy the show, please go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/the PRO Media Network. Make a contribution. You can sign up to be a monthly contributor or just a single one-time contributor. Also, you can sign up for our social media. The links are in the description section below. And as always, from the crew here at the Pelican Post Game Report, thank you for listening. Peace.
Forget ESPN or Fox. Get straight sports talk from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys.
There's a reason this office canceled Casual Friday. Why this guy is getting cut out of the will. And why sibling rivalries really exist. There's a reason he's always Employee of the Month. And why no shirt and no shoes is no problem. There's a lot of reasons to be a fan, but only NBAStore.com has all the gear.
What's up, world? This is DC from the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys. Have you ever been sitting in front of your computer screen, or in traffic, tired, lacking energy, feeling drained? Did you know there are electromagnetic fields or EMF waves all around you that cause this disease? Get it? Dis-ease? Luckily here at Posh Lifestyle, you can get your EMF protection. They have pendants, the shell-dyed bricks, cubes, and pyramids. Check out the PoshLifestyle.com. That's life spelled with a Y. PoshLifestyle.com for all your health needs. So get your mind and body right with a Posh Lifestyle.
Clear, clean, great-tasting filtered water. We're all thirsty for it. But in the U.S. alone, an estimated 2.5 million plastic bottles are added to the environment each year in search of the perfect drink of water. There has to be a better solution, and there is. Crystal Quest, a leader in the manufacturing of water filtration technology, has been providing clean, drinkable water for 20 years. With a deep commitment to providing the highest quality products and excellent customer service, Crystal Quest has been recognized by such leaders as Consumers Digest, Dr. Oz, and Colin Ingram's The Water Drinking Book. Providing cost-effective, reliable water filtration systems for residential, commercial, and industrial customers worldwide, offering our customers the cleanest and most environmental-friendly drinking water at a rating of high purity. With Crystal Quest's water filtration technology, you can rest assured that your water will be crystal clear. Contact our network of authorized distributors and join our thousands of satisfied customers.
Just log into thePoshLifestyle.com. Once again, that is thePoshLifestyle.com.
You're listening to the Pelicans postgame report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.